Hi folks, I wanted to tell you about a conversation I had recently with David Frazier from DCF Wedding Music. We talked about how to hire a band or a DJ for your wedding. He has a number of years' experience as a professional entertainer, and suffice to say, I don't know very much about the subject, so I found the conversation really enlightening. I hope you find it helpful when you're looking for entertainment for your wedding. Let me know what you think. So we'll just jump right into it. How about that? Okay.
Sure, I'm good.
So, David, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like, where are you based?
Yes.
How long have you been running your band?
So I've been a full-time musician for about 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a physics and math teacher when I first graduated, and I took this wide, divergent 180-degree turn, and I started performing full-time. I started playing primarily like pubs and restaurants, and I'd play private events and things like that. And I just found throughout the years that people would meet at my shows, they'd kind of become fans, sometimes they'd get engaged, sometimes they'd even get married, and then they'd ask me to play at their wedding, and up until just recently, I didn't consider myself a wedding entertainer. I just was a guy that occasionally played weddings for fans. And in this past year, I looked over all the things I've done income-wise, and I found that weddings there's a lot of personal satisfaction for me, mm-hmm. and also I found I made a really great impact on the people I was working with. Like the couples really had a great time, all their friends and family had a great time. So this is the first year officially where I've actually marketed the wedding services that I do provide. So to make your question shorter, I've been full-time for about 9 years in entertainment, and I switched to primarily doing weddings this past year.
That's awesome. That's really interesting that you say that. So would you say you get more of the warm fuzzies out of doing weddings rather than performing in a bar, for example?
Yeah, I mean, warm fuzzies aren't really synonymous with the bar atmosphere.
No.
I mean, I love what I do. I love making people happy. So, I get a lot of energy from giving music and fun to people. So I enjoy them both in different ways, but every ceremony I always get choked up. Every time I see a couple having their first dance, it's always like, wow, because I can connect with that on personally. I was married 6 years ago to the girl of my dreams, so I can totally understand like where they're coming from and what the depth of the importance of the wedding day is. I really do get it, and I want to make it the best I can. So, warm fuzzies is definitely a feeling I feel at every wedding. Whether this person's hired me to do their whole day or maybe just a reception or even sometimes just their ceremony. I always feel that I'm like, wow, like that love feeling you get when like everyone's together and they're all like, yeah, with a couple, and I get that feeling every time.
That's really sweet and awesome. Yeah. Is your wife listening to you as you say this?
She's currently making meatloaf. It's in the studio, but my studio is like soundproof, and it's in the summer. It's just a little too like dark feeling, so I'm trying to do this a little more casual up here in the upstairs. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what do you find is the first question that couples tend to ask you when they're inquiring about your entertainment?
Usually it's, are you booked on our day? Because we're not like a big corporation where we've got 45 bands. It's just we're a family-run business. So if we're booked on their day, we're not going to be able to do their day. So they want to know, is their day available? And then they also usually want to know something to do with prices or how much is this package or whatever. So it's generally, are you available? And then pricing is usually the first couple questions they ask.
Awesome. So how do your packages normally work, actually?
Well, they range. So like you, 99 times out of 100, I end up customizing for the bride. So the process is they'll usually apply for a consultation if they're serious, and we'll go through their entire day in terms of what they need for the ceremony, their cocktail hour if they're having one, any other type of events, and then the reception dance. And we'll go through what do you need for this, this, and this. And then generally I'll recommend a package or I'll recommend a hybrid of a couple packages or recommend package this with this add-on or something like that, whatever makes the most sense for them. Awesome. I have the packages up there just so they can get an idea of what's possible.
Yeah.
We've got our silver package, which is just like we show up and play a reception dance and create a great dance party. Like it's going to be a great time, all the way to we'll play our whole day with like a 7 to 9 piece band, and we'll create a customized song that's written just about you and your love story. We've got a wide range of things we offer. It just is a matter of like, what's the right fit for the client. Obviously, to write a song for someone for me, it takes like about 100 hours.
Yeah,
so,
I can imagine.
yeah, so it's a big time commitment. So it's, I like to just sit down with a couple or Skype with them and find out, what do they want to get out of it, and then we can figure out what would that cost me to do. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Awesome. So, are there other questions that you would like more couples to ask you earlier on in the process that they tend not to?
Well, I guess what I try to communicate is what makes us different on our website, but I find you can tell right away if a couple's thinking of you as like, one jug of milk in the fridge next to 45 other identical jugs of milk in the fridge. They think of you that way, then they're very focused on like, what's the price, right? Or, and then they're just comparing all the bands or the whatever on the basis of price, right? Whereas if they were more specific, like, what makes you different? What can you offer? And for us, that's interactive, engaging, fun, right? We're not necessarily the most like technically amazing band, although we are good musicians. What we specialize in is just making sure that we're interacting with the audience. We're creating kind of special moments as opposed to just playing a bunch of songs.
Mm-hmm.
There's thousands of musicians that play great songs. What we do specifically different is we are interactive, we're personal, we're like an entertainment as opposed to just music. So, it's hard to communicate that obviously on a website or even with video. I mean, every wedding's so different that even if you were to look at an entire wedding, the whole video of it, which we would never do, film an entire wedding, but you wouldn't get a feel for what it would be like for your wedding because your wedding's going to be different. Your wedding's going to be personalized to you. Mm-hmm. So, we're just a boutique family-run business, like I said. So we very much, the way we compete with like agents with like 95 bands, and we compete on the basis of like we're really personalizing it to you. So we sit down with a couple, like I said, for 90 minutes before they even become a client. We sit down with them and make sure that we're the right fit first and foremost for them. Yeah. And then secondly, like, how can we make your day amazing is basically what that time is spent doing. And then moving forward, we meet with them at the venue. We talk to them. We have a whole system of like, they get to pick the songs they need at their wedding. They get to pick the songs they don't want at their wedding.
Oh, yes.
Like, we don't want the cha-cha slide, or we don't want that's cool, So we get that all done up front, so it's not just a cookie-cutter wedding, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it's really important that you actually interact with all of the guests because as a photographer, there's nothing worse than seeing an empty dance floor. Not many photo opportunities there, so I like that you actually get people pumped up and dancing.
Yeah, we have a lot of different strategies because I find everyone wants to dance at the wedding, but a lot of times you don't want to be the first idiot on the dance floor, right?
Yeah.
So we just have a lot of different. One we use, you might want to steal this, is we'll get a really great shot is that kind of wide angle fisheye lens, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word. But it's a wide angle shot from like the photographer can kind of stand behind the drummer, or actually up on the stage or up on the drummer's stool or whatever. It makes sense. And you get everyone in on the dance floor. So you got, okay, guys, we're going to get this great group shot. It's like the lights are on, the couple's in the middle, and it's just like everyone on the dance floor. Mm-hmm. And people are, obviously, that's a sweet shot. But secondly, it gets people right there on the dance floor, and then you play the right song right after that, and just like, boom. So that's like, we have about 6 or 7 different strategies because honestly, that's the number one fear. What if nobody dances?
I can imagine. That would be terrifying as an entertainer.
It's the biggest day of your life. You paid all this money, blah, 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 and then you have this empty dance floor. Like, you don't want that, right? So we always address that right away in, like, the consultation. Would you be comfortable with us doing this? Would you be comfortable with doing this? Like, we've got things we know work every time.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But, it's a matter of, like, what makes sense for the couple. But what we always say is, like, packed dance floor guaranteed. That's what we do, right? So that's, like, a fear everyone always addresses. And another one is always, I don't know, this never even crossed my mind before I started playing weddings, but like another fear the couples always have is, what if the band doesn't show up?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I'm always like, I guess that might happen. Like, So we designed our whole business around like we guarantee we're going to be there on time, dressed well. Like we kind of built these guarantees into our business so that like you don't have to stress about all that stuff. You can stress about the florist or whatever, but you know the band's at least like
Yeah, absolutely.
solid.
That would be terrifying. Oh
Yeah,
man.
that's true.
So what do you think are some of the biggest mistakes that couples make when they're booking an entertainer?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a broad question, but I think there's a couple different main ones. I think one is just kind of comparing, not really assessing the cost versus benefit. For between $5 and $20 per person, you can get like a nice vegetable platter that will appear after the meal, right? Like so people can nibble on.
Yeah.
Right. For maybe a little more than that, you can get a great band at your wedding that's going to completely rock the wedding.
Yeah.
What's going to have a better impact on your guest and your experience? The veggie platter, as amazing as the vegetable is, or like spending that extra money on a great DJ or a great band. Like I think like photography, that's where your memories are. Put your money there.
Yeah.
Right. I think in some cases, if you have like a family that's very judgy on food, spend money on food, right? It kind of depends. But then second, like 80% of your guests, for them, they rank entertainment as the number one or number two most memorable aspect of the wedding. Because, for you, there's the dress and there's the tuxedo and there's the ceremony and all these things, right? But from your guest perspective, it's like, when is the bar going to open up and when can we do this? So that's why I just think, like, in terms of, like, benefit per dollar, like, entertainment it's a lot of bang for your buck, So I feel like people don't always assess that. It's just kind of like they'll spend the money on X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then all of a sudden it's like, what's left over for like the DJ, right? And I think to reassess that, more couples are doing that because I think they're realizing they've been to enough lame weddings that like, why was that so lame? Why did everyone leave at 11? That I think people are trying to learn, but I think that's a big thing. And then another thing is just not doing the homework because it's a lot of work to find a band or a DJ that's the right fit for you. It's not just like like booking flowers. I don't think it's it's a very personal thing. Like we talked about how you're with your photographer all day, right? And so you have to find someone you click with, and the same with your band leader or your DJ. Like in terms of total time, if like this pie is like your day, like here's the ceremony, blah blah blah, the meal and the speeches, and like here's your reception dance generally. It's like 4 hours or whatever. That's like sometimes half your day. So it's a large amount of time. You don't always consider that. That's a large amount of time you're just spending with those people. And if they're not fun or if they're just not really personable, even if they're great musicians and technically they're playing everything great, it might not have the same impact. And you might find like, man, I wish I had to kind of spend more time just getting to know this person or, finding out about a few other options. Before I just kind of booked the cheapest one or the one that was closest or the one that like my uncle knew or something.
Well, you don't want the guitarist who's gonna like throw a fit and smash his guitar right in front of everyone.
I've heard some horror stories. Like I've heard of, it's not so much smashing or like pulling a complete thing, but like bands getting like super drunk at weddings. Like,
no, that's awful.
Yeah, like because some people they take what they've done in the bar, and I don't drink at the bars really generally, but some people do, and whatever. That's their prerogative. But they'll take that atmosphere and be like, oh, I'm just going to translate that to the wedding. It's a completely different atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
It's a completely different expectation set. And, a band might be great in a bar, and you're like, yay, they're fun in the bar. But then, like, you put them in front of, like, your grandparents at the wedding, and it's just like...
Yeah, so maybe add that to your list of questions for your entertainment. Do you drink at weddings?
We have a zero tolerance drug alcohol policy for ourselves, obviously, which isn't a big deal. But for anyone we hire, like we hire out other musicians, and like, just wait until the wedding's over. Like, just it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I want to hear some of your favorite songs and your least favorite songs for weddings. So what What are your all-time favorites for weddings? Like, what always gets people going at weddings, or crying, or laughing, or...
Okay, so we've got a large repertoire, but there's a couple songs that just I find always really connect with a Canadian audience. And we haven't played a ton of American weddings yet, but there's a song called "Home for Rest" by Spirit of the West that has this like Celtic kind of just community feel, and we bust that out at most of our weddings.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wants like a not a Celtic wedding, we tend to lean towards acoustic music, but we might not play that, but it just has this like upbeat feel, and it's the kind of song where everyone's does like the links arms and twirls around, and it's a great song, and it's not super current. It's not like you get sick of like friggin' what was that song by Alan Thicke's kid? Blurred Lines.
Oh dear.
Okay? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that song?
I think so, yes.
Super chauvinistic, really derogatory towards women lyrics, and it was like a huge hit last summer and the summer before. And like I heard a DJ playing it at a wedding this summer, and I was like, oh, that song. So like, especially like the more recent songs, they have this shelf life, and they as soon as they're like expired, it's like it's just like bad milk, you know. So we try to build the bulk of our repertoire with just songs that are right on the cutting edge right now.
Mm-hmm.
An example of a song that's been requested a lot this year is like Ed Sheeran's "Thinking Out Loud."
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a good love song. And then we also build it up with like just classic songs that just are always a winner, like "Home for a Rest" or just songs that aren't in that middle ground of like they're not old and they're not classics, but they're not really new anymore. I try to avoid that whole bulk of music unless someone's like a diehard Lady Gaga fan or something.
Do you play any Lady Gaga?
We do a lot of mashups, so we'll slip in Lady Gaga and then we'll slip in bam bam bam. We'll do a bunch of like stuff all back to back, so that we're kind of scratching that top 40 itch without having to play an entire Lady Gaga song.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to see a video of that.
We do, and also a thing that we always people love is we do a thing called the Big Shiny Tune-Up, which is all the Big Shiny Tune CDs mashed together into like a 9-minute song. That's fun too.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I want to hear that one.
That's like usually after grandparents have gone home because they're not going to get 90s music.
No, that's true. So what's the most unusual song that you had requested at a wedding?
That's a great question. Sometimes it's... Oh, Carrie's going to chime in on this. What is it, Carrie?
Some song in a different language, like Italian or something, like some language.
Well, sometimes we're pretty white. We're pretty like fourth generation Canadians. So that's not to say that we won't learn like it's a traditional Italian song or a Jewish hora or something like that. But what we usually do is fill in those gaps with either the DJ that's playing on break or in some of our packages just like we'll put an iPod playlist on, right? So sometimes people will come up and ask just really obscure like non-English songs, and we're like but sometimes it'll be just like weird. Somebody wants like a super hard rock song, right?
Yeah.
Usually Uncle Bernie wants like some rock song, right? And as much as like those sound awesome, like in theory, like play Freebird, it's just not a great wedding dance song.
No kidding. I want to know what you were gonna say about Freebird and.
Freebird. I was just rambling about Freebird. Well, yeah, Freebird's awesome in like a concert environment, but its 9-minute guitar solo might not be the most conducive to like people having fun at your wedding.
Or dancing at all, really.
Yeah, other than like lighters or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I find in general, people just don't know what to request. That's what I find actually. Usually, like the couples. So we have like we share with them our master list, and they'll kind of pick and choose like what they love and what they hate.
Mm-hmm.
So that usually helps people get on the right foot. And then I like it when they kind of leave a middle ground where it's like, okay, you guys just take control of it. Mm-hmm. And then we just know like on the fly. We don't have like solid set lists. What we do is we really react to what the crowd's dancing to and responding to. And then we want to make sure that we're not leaving out any subcategory of the wedding guests. So like some weddings I've been to, like the DJ will just rock like hardcore gangster rap music right from the get go,
Oh boy.
and it's kind of like, that appeals. Like the couple probably love that.
Yeah.
They're like big Jay-Z fans or whatever, which is
Yeah.
fine. But like grandma and grandpa will like want to get out and do like some Frank Sinatra song, at least at the start of the wedding, So it's a fun balance, and then like as soon as like 11 o'clock hits, like generally the old people are like slowing down, so you can bust out, get a little more crazy with the song choices. But I usually recommend to clients in general, like consider your whole guests as a group and try to get every part of that group kind of involved.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to do that is song selection. I think that's 90% of what I do is interacting with people and then just picking the right song at the right time. That's the skill of what a DJ or a band can do for you.
Mm-hmm. Very smart. Awesome. So before I lose you again here, my last question, what is the number one piece of advice you can give to couples who are searching for entertainment for their wedding?
Okay, well, beyond what we've talked about already, which is don't try to commoditize your entertainment. Try to think of it as individuals and what's the best fit for you, and then try to put the dollars where you want your memories to be, like photography and entertainment. I think beyond that, and do your homework with your band leader, and I think sit down with the band leader. Like, don't book someone on like a price quote. Yeah. So regardless of how many reviews or how splashy their website is, like if you don't get a chance to really sit down with them, I used to always encourage people to see me live, and generally 99% of people that come and see us live will book us, but because we're playing so many more weddings and so much less public performances now, like I would never let someone else crash your wedding, so I'm not going to let you crash their wedding. So sometimes it's hard to always see the band live, but if you can do that, for sure. And then just don't stress about it. Let the professionals be the professionals. Don't micromanage the band. I've never had anyone do that, but I don't think it would be actually in your best interest as the couple to pick every song. And I think you want to pick the, your important songs that are important to you as a couple. And most bands will usually learn a song for you, or DJ can play anything generally.
Yeah.
So pick those special songs, but then leave that middle ground for the professionals to be the professional. If you trust them and you've hired them and you've paid them enough, then really it's on them to make sure it all happens. And then don't stress about it, because everyone worries about, will the band show up? Everyone worries about, is my dance floor going to be empty? But it always works out. We've never had an empty dance floor. So, yeah.
Awesome. Great answer. And thanks so much for chatting with me. I think you've given everyone a lot to think about when they're booking a band or a DJ.
I answered adequately, and I hope I got to the heart of what you were asking them.
Yeah.
If anyone, like, I do offer that 90-minute consultation for free to couples, and if anyone, like, even if they're like in your area and they're thinking of just hiring a local band or whatever, like I would still sit down and talk with them if I have the time, and I could probably make some recommendations, because it is a big decision, I think, and it's an important one. So if there's any way I can be helpful, don't hesitate to get in touch. The best way to do that is on my website, which is just dcfweddingmusic.com, and I'm pretty accessible on there.
Awesome. I'll be putting a link up with this video as well, so it'll be
cool.
somewhere around this video. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Sophia. Is there any other thing you wanted to ask me about before we close?
I learned a lot. I think entertainment is one of the things that I know like the least about in the wedding industry, and it's probably one of the more complex aspects of a wedding for me to wrap my head around anyway. So this was enlightening for me.
Well, it's like, it's like photography. I think it's not just one size fits all, and there's so much variability to what someone might need. So I don't know anything about photography either, so it's good to get to know people like yourself at work and learn more about not only just the business side of things, but like just, how do you guys create that great customer experience, and I think it all ultimately boils down from like, where's your heart at, right? If you really care about people and you want to make it the best for them, then I think that shows through, and it totally shows through in what you do, because everything I've just noticed about you as a person, like you really, you come across as just a genuine human being. Like,
No, thank
you know,
you.
like photographer. And I like that. So, and that's why I like working with people like yourselves, where it's not just about necessarily about like money or about, you know, the business, although that is obviously how we feed our families and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's about, you know, how can we really make this above and beyond and not just like every other wedding. So good on you for doing that. I wish there's more people like you in this industry.
Thanks.
So
Well, I think pretty importantly, like both of us really enjoy what we're doing. Like it feels good to make people happy in this way. So I think that's really.
There's nothing like seeing someone, doesn't matter what it is, like there's nothing worse than that person like at the DMV that's just like hating their life and just like, you know, or even like I used to be a teacher and there'd be people that like, you know, were like in their 50s and their whole day consisted of like complaining about the Harris government, which I don't know for my time, and just like, you know, complaining about getting paid not enough and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy. Like, that's why I quit teaching. Is like, I want to be doing something where I love and I can really like make a difference, right? And
Absolutely.
you know, if anyone's watching this and they're in a job they hate, get out. You know, like start to be that person just like slogging away until you get your pension. You know?
Absolutely.
So cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, and it was great to connect.
It was nice chatting with you.
Okay, talk to you soon, Sophia.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go. I hope that you find our conversation helpful when you're looking for a band or a DJ for your wedding. As always, if you have any questions for me, you can shoot me an email at sophia@sophialemon.com. You can tweet me at sophialemon, or you can friend me on Facebook. And as always, stay ridiculously happy.
Will you take my hand? 'Cause I'm a simple and honest man. Raise the cattle and work the land on the 8th line.